The morning after a night like no other, in which the east coast of America was pounded by a gigantic storm system on a scale not seen before. This was Staten Island in New York at first light, the incredible sight of a tanker picked up and dumped on the shore by an unstoppable wall of water. Overnight, fire ripped through an entire neighborhood in the New York borough of Queens. In high winds, the flames quickly spread, destroying dozens of homes. Firefighters struggled through floodwaters to reach the emergency.
There were numerous trapped civilians down there. Water going up the block. We couldn't get any apparatus down the block due to chest-high water, but we had a boat with us. So we saddled up, got in the boat, and we went down there.
I missed it!
In Lower Manhattan,
what's going on?
Amateur video showed what appeared to be an explosion at an electricity substation, knocking out power. And when a backup generator failed at this Manhattan hospital, 200 patients were brought out, among them newborn babies from intensive care. A desperate, delicate evacuation of the newest New Yorkers of all. And all the while, the waters were rising to levels the city had never witnessed before. It poured into tunnels, a combination of high tide and fierce storm surge. Before long, there were subway stations flooded, and the vast construction site at Ground Zero. The city that never sleeps, shut down by Mother Nature.
We knew that this was going to be a very dangerous storm, and the storm has met our expectations. The worst of the weather has come, and the city certainly is feeling the impacts.
But what's made this storm historic is the sheer scale of its impact. This was coastal Connecticut, where roads became rivers. And here, New Jersey, where Sandy made landfall. Sea foam lashes the boardwalk, debris from buildings flies through the air. And as far away as Tennessee, there were heavy snowfalls as the storm system combined with cold air rushing in from the Arctic. Here in Washington, the storm had already forced the shutdown of the transport network and much of the government. And this is what people are waking up to this morning. Trees down, all too often bringing down power cables as well. And all told, millions of Americans are now without electricity. And many more who travelled here have been left stranded. Hunkered down in their hotel just blocks from the White House and with no confirmed flight home, we found this visiting school group from Bristol.
We were meant to be seeing the White House and all of the monuments, but we went out for about an hour and then the rain was just awful and it was so wet, so we had to come home.
Yeah, parents have been worried about the hurricane and what the Sandy would do because they've heard reports and they say it's like really dangerous. So.
For those who lived through it, it was relentless, a once-in-a-generation storm that showed no mercy. And in the days ahead, Sandy will continue its march across this battered continent. Steve Kingston, BBC News, Washington.